FM94, The Dark. It is that time again. It's time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark. And on the phone tonight, I am talking with Steph with an F from the band City of the Week. And of course, for fans around here, you remember City of the Week. They were up here last year, played at the West Side Bar, and they were a great show, a lot of fun. We heard a lot of feedback from them. And I wanted to touch base with Steph again because a lot of fun things and great things are happening with this band. But first of all, Steph, how you doing? Great to hear your voice once again since the last time we talked about a year ago.
Yeah, doing well. It's good to be back. Thanks for having me.
What I wanted to bring you in right away and talk about. You have a new album that you just dropped here, and actually, this is your first full-length album ever called "Pulling Teeth." Is that, first of all, is that an exciting thing to happen to have your first album, your first full-length album out?
Yeah, it's been a long time in the making, and I feel like it really shows our growth, and I think people are really starting to see that. We had a lot of album reviews already, and they've all said that, like, it's a huge difference from it's not a huge difference. It's a huge step up from the old stuff while still maintaining our originality from our older stuff.
Looking at some of the track listings that I saw, you do have a couple of the songs that you put out here in the last couple of years, but of course you got a lot of new stuff out there too. Did you get a chance, I guess, with this album, since the couple of the older ones that at least that I remember, Censor This, Ungrateful? Is there a chance then, since you recorded those and now these other ones, that you maybe saw something as you were out touring or talking with people that you made a few changes here and there? Or is it kind of the same kind of concept that you had with Censor This and Ungrateful?
Well, Censor This and Ungrateful were recorded with the rest of the album a couple years ago. So, it all kind of follows the same concept of we're going to do what we want to do, and Pulling Teeth sums up our experience in the music industry and the making of the album, which was like pulling teeth. I feel like the rock industry is just so, people always say it's this big accepting place and everybody is really cool, but like in reality, when you go on the industry side, it's totally a bunch of cliques. It's totally just, I don't know, we've had a hard time fitting in anywhere because we don't fit in anywhere, and, I felt like we spent a lot of time trying to fit in, but that's not who we are. We did rock and roll because we don't fit in, and we're not going to try to anymore.
Well, let me ask you that. I know we've talked to this before off the air and stuff, but what is it, I guess, about you guys back in the early years not really fitting into certain, I guess, areas in the rock industry? What do you attribute that to, I guess?
I feel like rock and roll today is nothing what it used to be. And I don't mean to say that in a way of like, oh, things are way better back then, because, obviously we're really, really young and we didn't really live in, like, the 80s or 90s or whatnot. But I just feel like rock was, like, the place to go where you had an opinion and you could say whatever you wanted to say. And, you kind of told people off when you didn't like what they had to say, and you did what you wanted to do. And I feel like today it's more about selling and conforming, and I feel like a lot of it's just watered down. If you listen to a lot of rock, like on the radio today, it's like very vague messages, very vague wordings. Not all the time, obviously. There's some really, really amazing artists out there right now. I'm not trying to generalize everybody, but I just feel like with a lot of these really newer artists, like coming up, kind of like we are right now, trying to break through, people are just really trying to please everybody, but rock is not about pleasing everybody. It's about doing you, being yourself, and saying what you want to say. And then if people don't like it, who cares,
Yeah,
So,
I agree with you. And you just mentioned, obviously people conforming, and I think you do see that a lot in especially up-and-coming bands, is because obviously they're going to look back maybe at the past 10, 15 years, and some of these bands that have been around and have made a name for themselves, and then they kind of want to piggyback off kind of their sound because they feel that the industry's, that's what they're looking for. But in reality, I think a lot of times, at least for me, I'm looking for something a little bit different. I don't want to hear for the 20th time the same Godsmack, Breaking Benjamin, Five Finger Death Punch song. I want to hear something totally different, and I think that's what you guys are. You're definitely different. Would you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, you said exactly, what I what I was trying to say. I mean, yeah, I feel like a lot of bands, like you said, hear, their influences and they want to copy those influences, and I feel like it gets popular really quickly because labels or management or, agencies will pick up a band, because they remind them of, this reminds me so much of Godsmack, this reminds me so much of Metallica, and then they'll try to push them as the second Metallica, the second Avenged, the second whatever. But yeah, quickly it'll make you a little bit of money, but long term, they're never going to be the second Metallica. You're never going to be the second Slayer, whatever it is,
Right.
because they're so great because they are the first. And you might as well take your chances on being the first and the best of who you are than trying to copy somebody else, because you'll literally never be the best of somebody else.
Well, yeah. I mean, you want to make your own, basically, in essence, your own footprint. You don't want to stand in somebody else's footprint, right?
Yeah, of course.
And that's awesome. And you guys have been starting to kind of push the envelope a little bit. And I think some of rock radio, I think, is starting to, for lack of better words, starting to fall in love with City of the Week. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of support from radio. I mean, especially a lot of these independent stations around, and shockingly, I mean, even some of the really, really big stations, 95 Will Rock has been a huge supporter, and they're massive. 94.5 Spokane has been a supporter, and they're, massive as well. And of course, a lot of like the secondary markets, like you guys, and 92.9 The X in Eau Claire has been super great. Mankato, Rochester. There's lots of really great like secondary markets that have been really, really awesome because they're not corporate. They're people like you who like music, and it's cool to connect with you guys, and we're appreciative that you guys support us.
That's awesome. And, I should ask, since we're talking with Steph from the F here in City of the Week, how are the guys doing, Cody and Brent? Are they doing well?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just trying to recover from tour. We literally just got back to town late last night, returning the van rental this morning, actually. And, we're trying to work on what's coming next and gear up for the next tour and the next couple one-offs, and maybe taking a break this week for them. I mean, not for me. I got to package the rest of these pre-orders and get my life together, too. I mean, the orders keep coming in, which is awesome. I'm so grateful, but we really didn't think about the fact that we're getting all these orders. We didn't expect the volume of orders, so trying to get them all together has been a little bit more work than we anticipated, but it's awesome. It's amazing.
It's great. It's great work because it's you guys have been doing this for a long time, and now you're starting to reap a little bit, get some of the benefits of what you've done, which has got to feel great. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I mean, we expected X amount of dollars through an X amount of orders, and we did that times 5, which is insane. And I love down to packaging every single order and seeing the name and writing the name on the box, even though that's a little unnecessary because everything is printed labels now, but I want to make sure it has that, human touch, and I write every single person a letter, and a personalized letter, and it's cool then to see when we go out on the road to see these people that I'm packaging stuff up for, or people that we have seen on the road that are getting packages now, and it's exciting, and I love seeing when people are getting them and they're posting pictures and they're like enjoying them, and it's really cool. It's definitely like a connection between our art and our fans.
It's kind of like having a second family out there, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I mean, I would consider it a first family. Like, these people have been through, some of the biggest and best and some of the worst moments of our lives, and they've been there for us, and they've stuck with us, and it's great to have a really good connection with all these people across the country.
Hey, I want to go back to a song that you did, a cover of Incubus's "Pardon Me," which I thought was awesome. What made you decide to do that?
We were kind of waiting for the record to come out, and basically we kind of just had this idea of, let's get some content out in the next few months while we're waiting. And we were playing every tour that we do, we play a new cover, we make it our own. We did a Blondie cover, a couple of years ago, and then we went to Queens of the Stone Age. We did a Zeppelin song, and then we did Thank You Miss Pardon Me, and people really, really liked it. And so we're like, hey, what if we just quit going to the studio for a couple days, make this song and record it and put it out as a little kind of a sort of filling time before the record, and then it kind of blew up from there. Like it was kind of more than we expected as far as like, really making it our own and making it something that we're really, really proud of, and we're really, really happy with how it turned out, and it was well received. And I think the song choice, Pardon Me, in general, has to do with the fact that it's so much more relevant today than it ever has been.
Right.
And then going back to, like, as far as artists, we never want to be a band that's just, like you said, covering somebody else trying to be them. Incubus was kind of the first of who they were, and they kind of paved their own path. And so it was like doing a song from a band like that's really, really challenging and we knew it was going to be really challenging because they made their own way, they did their own thing, and it was like, well, we're either going to epically fail or we're going to, make it our own. And we decided to take the challenge, and everybody liked it, and so did we.
Yeah, I think, that it is a scary thing to do. I mean, is to take a cover song or take a song and put it as a cover, and then because everybody thinks of an original, and then they go, oh, boy, that's horrible or something. But no, your vocals were just right for it. And you know what? I think the thing that actually did it for me is because I know you have a little, and don't take this the wrong way, but you got a little anger inside, and that's a perfect song for that, and I think.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. We completely relate to this song right now, and yeah, we definitely always try and do songs that we relate to, and definitely, I mean, we still play it today, and it's very, very, we relate to it very well.
Well, I know we kind of chatted about your history of, I think you said you grew up in Montana, you moved to the Twin Cities, and now here you are doing what you're doing today, I guess. How is that? I mean, when we talked about it, it's been a challenge, but you've been starting to get out there a little bit more. What is the next step for City of the Week, for obviously for yourself and also for Cody and Brent?
I mean, just touring on this record, I feel like, is the next step. I mean, we've been touring like crazy for the last few years, and in so many ways, this record is just the beginning. I mean, having 2 EPs out doesn't even register on the discography of the career of an entire band. Generally, usually it's the first full length. It's kind of like, all right, you're starting your career now, and so I think it's kind of the first thing that maybe industry people and maybe more casual fans are kind of like, oh, this is really great, and we're really starting to like you guys. And I think touring on this record is just going to be really beneficial, and I kind of just want to get out there all this new material and kind of debut the new us, and that's kind of the goal for the next year.
And I know you mentioned you just came off touring just recently here, and I know you've been out with a lot of bands and stuff like that. And I don't want you to like put any one band on the spot or anything that way, but I guess is there a couple of bands that you were out on tour in the last year that you really enjoyed touring with and would love to maybe go back out on tour again with?
Yeah, there's a band called The Scars Heal in Time.
Okay, yeah.
And they're from Houston, Texas, and it's just 2 girls, and then they hire a guitar player, and their agent had hit me up, I want to say like a year ago. It was like, yo, will you do a tour with one of my bands? And I'm like, I've booked everything for us for years. I've booked us 22, 23 tours. I booked tours for other bands, and I hate it. I hate every second of booking, and I was like, if you're going to book everything, I will go out with whoever you want. Just book the thing, and we'll make it happen.
Right.
And it was this band, Scars Heal in Time. Never heard of them, and I didn't even check them out before we went on tour. Like, how bad is that? I was just like, just doing my thing, whatever. And the first night we played with them, I was like, oh, this is actually, I really dig this music, and we started talking to them, and ever since we've actually brought them out a second time this year. And we just really click. I mean, both tours, I actually ride with them in their bus and camp out there. We have slumber parties every night. And I ended up going out with them last winter, just selling merch for them on the road. And our bass player, Cody, filled in for them on guitar on a tour. So, we're really, really close with them. And they're just so fun. And we just think so much alike. And
awesome.
I would definitely take them out again a third time. Because, really close. And of course, Scarlet Canary. I know you've chatted with them
Yep.
before, and we've gone out with them a couple times, and they're really, really fun too.
Yeah, I think they were just in Fridley the other night, weren't they?
Yes, we missed them by a day.
Yeah.
Back, like I said, last night, which is, I want to say, the 25th.
Yeah, I think they were there on. I think they were on a Sunday night there, the 24th or so. They were there. I think it was.
I know, because they asked us to play the show, and I felt so bad because they've always been really great about playing Colorado with us.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, we're going to be in Idaho, across the country, unfortunately. So we're really bummed that we missed out.
Well, and so, that'll happen sometimes. And how about, is there some other bands that you're maybe gearing up to play with here that you can tell us about? I know sometimes you can't tell us about everything, but what's on tap for you here, I guess, in August, September, October?
Yeah, well, we have July 7th is Saturday in the Park. It's a big festival in Sioux City, Iowa. I'm not sure who's headlining this year, but I know, like, Aretha Franklin has headlined in the past. They bring in some really big acts. And then July 8th, we're playing Dundee, Illinois. It's like North Chicago with From Ashes to New.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're playing July 21st. We're actually headlining Mankato, Minnesota, What's Up Lounge with Via and Mayberry Riot, both Minnesota bands.
Mm-hmm.
And then August 8th, we're opening for Red Sun Rising in Grand Junction, Colorado. And then we're trying to book a few days there and back. We're playing Rochester. August 10th, we're headlining, and then we're going out mid-August. I can't really announce or talk about who we're going out with because nothing's super set in stone yet, and I don't want to give anything away if it doesn't happen. I don't want to disappoint people, but hopefully we'll be going out mid-August with another band that we really, really love. So, but that's kind of all that's in the works right now.
Awesome. Well, eventually we're going to have to get you back here in Little Falls, Minnesota, because I know we have plenty of fans that like City of the Week, and we just need a good rock show up here again. So hopefully you can make that happen sometime. Does that sound good?
Yes, we love playing Little Falls.
Absolutely. All right, let's get more information about the band once again. And if people want to order the new album, Pulling Teeth, how can they do that?
Yeah, we have our website, cityoftheweekofficial.com, and we have a shop tab on there, and you can pick up your bundle right off of there. You can pick up just the record or one of the special customized bundles we have. We have a few left. They're almost completely sold out, so act fast if you really want one. And then also, of course, the classic iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, and we're on Google Play, Amazon. Pretty much anywhere that you can consume music is where we are.
Very cool. And you guys are pushing right now, at least on rock radio, your latest song, Not This Time. Give us a little history about that song and what's the meaning behind it.
Yeah, so it kind of goes right in line with the rest of the record. We were writing a lot and, working with people in the music industry, sending them music, and nobody was liking anything. I mean, people that we were directly had ties with, and basically saying that we were worthless and we were terrible and everything that we wrote was terrible and all of our past songs were terrible, and then I was a terrible singer and we would never go anywhere, and we just kind of let people talk down to us for a long time. And so Not This Time was kind of, well, we did Censor This first, and Censor This was like the Screw You song,
Yep.
and then Not This Time was kind of like a more motivating version. Like, I let you push me around to let all these people talk down to me, but not this time. They're not going to push me down, but I'm going to get right back up. And then we made a video about it, which basically it illustrates that no matter what your dreams are, no matter how big or how small, you are in control of them, and you're not going to let people push you around. And it illustrates a father and a son, and the son wants to be a pilot. And from a young age, he has like a paper airplane, and then he has a little remote control plane, and the dad always wants to shut him down, and at the end it shows him flying. Nothing super crazy, just his own private little plane, and it shows him smiling and really happy flying in the clouds. And I just want people to know that, like, no matter what it is that you really want to do, to go for it, and don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise, because it's shocking how many people will change what they really want to do. They'll go for Plan B or Plan C right away because they think, somebody told them along the line that Plan A was unattainable, which is absolutely not true.
Absolutely. And I know it got a lot of votes on our Rock in the Dark music poll. I think it even won the thing, too. So there's some love up here in central Minnesota.
Oh, Well, thanks so much to everybody that voted for us.
Absolutely. So, Not This Time is the latest song. We're going to play that in just a sec. Steph, a lot of fun talking with you. I wish you the best. Continue on rocking and as always, kicking ass and paving the way for City of the Week, okay?
Well, thanks so much for your support.
Absolutely. Latest song is called Not This Time. You're hearing it right now. It's the latest from City of the Week. It's on the Dark. It's on FM94.